Hi, my name is Tuli and today I will take you through an activation-based training to help you get onboarded into the Teamtailor platform. In this session, we will cover your recruitment-related settings, look through how to create a job, as well as how to manage candidates. Let's start by diving into the recruitment-related settings. When you've logged onto your Teamtailor platform, you will be able to access the recruitment level settings from your company name, settings, and scroll down on the left-hand side to recruitment here. Teams will allow you to pre-create recruitment teams for you to use as part of your job ads. When you click to the pink plus here, you can firstly customize your team name, choose who the manager is. This manager can also be used as the recruitment lead of your jobs. From there, you can add members, as well as customize these members' access to the candidate database, so our candidate tab up here. Copilot is one of our add-on features which you will need to activate when you click to your company name and from there add-on features. Copilot is an AI tool that can help you, for example, generate resume summaries, summarize video meetings if you're using the Teamtailor video meeting tool, or for example, help you draft job descriptions. Questions is a place where you will be able to pre-create questions for you to use in different areas of the platform. For example, these questions can be used as part of your job ads or as part of your message templates. To create them, you will need to click onto the pink plus, choose a type, and simply into the title, write the question. If it's not a very self-explanatory one, you can of course write a description, as well as link this to a specific skill or a trait. You will also be able to customize the availability of these questions to be available for every user in the platform, or for example, for certain employees in certain departments or certain locations. In ratings, you will be able to customize what you want these different star ratings to mean. These can be used to evaluate the candidates and are also visible on their personal profiles. Custom fields will allow you to create additional information fields either on a candidate level or a job level, if for example you would like to highlight a start date as part of your job ad. Tag Manager is the centralized place for all your tags that you may be using in different areas of the platform. For example, when you're tagging candidates or when you're tagging jobs. Reject reasons is an important part of your recruitment settings. Whenever you go to reject a candidate from the Teamtailor platform, you will always need to specify a reason. From here, you can completely rename the ones you currently see, remove some if you don't find them important to you, or you can also reorder them to make sure that you see the most relevant up the top. You will also have the opportunity of adding your own reject reasons if none of the ones that we have pre-created for you fit your needs. Interview Kit is another one of our add-on features which you will need to activate in order for you to use it. It is a way for you to pre-create questionnaires that you can utilize during your interviews with the candidates. To create a new one, you will simply need to click onto the plus button here on the right-hand side, give a name for this interview kit or a purpose what it's going to be used for. You can always attach tags, as well as specify some generic instructions for whoever's going to be conducting this interview. In the skills and traits section, you will be able to list some skills and traits that you would like for the candidates to have and what you're also going to be assessing during this interview. These skills and traits will then get listed onto the questions section. And if in your questions section of your settings you have attached a question to a skill or a trait, you will be able to find them here. These questions can then help you assess if a candidate has a specific skill or a trait. Of course, in addition to that, you can simply have individual questions as well as individual skills and traits for you to assess. Next in our settings, we'll be able to find our skills and traits bank, where you can pre-create skills and traits for you to, for example, attach as part of your interview kits. To create them, you will again click onto the pink plus, simply write the name of the skill or a trait, and specify which one it is. In meeting rooms, you will be able to connect your company's internal meeting rooms for you to use as part of your interviews. And in Apply With, you can choose if you want your candidates to be able to apply to your jobs directly, for example using their LinkedIn profile or their Facebook profile. Now that we are done with our recruitment related settings, let's have a look at the Jobs tab and what we can find there, as well as how to create a job. In our Jobs tab, you will be able to find all the different jobs in your platform. Especially if you're an admin user, you will have access to every single job that your employees create in the platform. Otherwise, in the Jobs tab, your hiring managers or recruitment leads will, for example, only see the jobs relevant to them. On the left-hand side, you will always find the title of your job ads. You can find the stages and how many candidates you have in them. You can see when the job was created, what location it's recruiting for, and who the main recruiter is. When hovering over these jobs, you will also find an action bar here on the right-hand side. From there, you can, for example, copy the contents of this job to create a completely new job. You can access the promote page of a job where you can find all the different job boards that your jobs are currently getting sent to, or where you would activate those job boards to send your jobs to. You can get to job-specific analytics. You can go and view your job ad to see how it would look like to the candidates, as well as you can still edit an active job. Also, if you ever do need to filter on jobs, for example to change the status of jobs you're seeing, from active jobs to unlisted jobs or archived jobs, you can do so here. And to create a completely new job, you would click onto the pink plus button here. From there, you are prompted to choose a way on creating this job. You can either use a default template, which may be a generic background template, or you can use a completely ready-made template for a certain position. Once you've clicked to create a job, this is the page that you will land on. The job name you see up the top here is for internal purposes only, but the job ad title and job description will always be visible to external people accessing your career site. If you are using our Copilot feature, you can also make it help you draft a job description by clicking onto the button here. Once your description has been drafted, you will be able to find a section called Pitch. And a pitch is a place where you can summarize the key details of your job ads, and they are also reflected on your search engine optimization. Once you've filled in your pitch, you will be able to specify which department you're hiring for, specifically to which role, which locations, as well as what kind of remote statuses you're offering. With the response time, you will be able to show the candidates how quickly they can expect a response from you. If this varies a lot, there is of course an option to not show this on the ads at all. The recruiter and colleagues section you see here is more for the visual purposes of this job. If you have chosen to show some of your employees as part of your career site, you can also do that as part of your job ads by simply selecting who should be visible from the list here. In the appearance section, you can customize how you would like for your job ad to look like. You can firstly customize what you want the button text to say, what kind of a page template you're wanting to use, as well as what kind of an image should be attached to that job ad. If you have your company's own images, you can simply download them from here, from the plus button on the top right corner. Once an image has been selected, you will also be able to make some basic color edits from here. In the application stage of a job ad, you will be able to customize what kind of personal details you would like to receive from the candidates. Email will always be mandatory here, so that you have a way of contacting the candidates after their application, but all these other details you can choose to have as off optional, or mandatory. In the questions section, you will be able to attach your own questions as part of the application. If you have created them before in the settings like we went through earlier, you will be able to find them easily here in the drop-down menu. With yes and no questions, you will also have the opportunity of making them as so-called qualifying questions, meaning that candidates will always need to answer yes in order to proceed with their application. If this is activated and the candidate responds no to a question, they will get an automatic pop-up saying that they are currently not meeting the applying criteria for this job. In the responses section, you will be able to see the automatic responses that your candidates will be receiving after they have applied for this position. These responses automatically will come from your message settings, but you can change them and choose to use some of your other templates or completely customize them here on the spot. You will also be able to see your reject message here, but this is never automated. You can always choose what kind of a message you want to send at the time of you rejecting a candidate. The next step we have here is another one of our add-on features called Candidate Interaction, which again you will need to activate in order for you to use it here. Once activated, you will be able to have a chat button attached to your job ads where the candidates can contact you with any questions they may have. On this page, you can customize what kind of a greeting message you want to have there, who the contact person is, as well as if this message will be a pop-up one. As part of your job ads, you will also have the opportunity of attaching a short video explaining who you are and introducing you as the recruiter of this job. Next, we get to the actual recruitment process of your job, where you can customize the different stages your candidates are going to be going through. Inbox, as well as hired, will always be there and always stationary, and this is mainly for the analytics reasons. All these other stages in between, you can completely customize to your needs. You can either, by clicking onto the three dots, delete a stage, or completely rename one. You will also have the opportunity of attaching your own stages by simply clicking onto the Add Stage button, writing the name of the stage, and clicking Create. You will then need to select a stage type, which again will be reflected on the analytics. Whenever you do add a new stage, it gets added down the bottom of your list here, and from there you can simply just drag and drop it to wherever you want it to be placed in your process. When you're happy with what kind of stages you have, you can also attach different kind of stage actions, such as triggers, which are automation functions, and again, another one of our add-on features. You can give yourself guide times on how quickly this process should be moving forward, as well as deadlines. You can also set up quick reject to help you reject candidates quicker, and set up anonymous mode, which help you anonymize candidates' data in certain stages. If you want to, you will also have the opportunity of attaching some actions onto the rejected side. For example, if you would like to send a survey or a message to candidates at the time of you rejecting them at a certain stage. Next, we have our evaluation step. Here you will be able to list some skills and traits that you would like for an ideal candidate to have. And you can find these skills and traits from an easy drop-down menu here, again if you have created them in your settings beforehand. Once attached, you will also be able to give them a weight and specify how important they are for this particular position. These can later on in our processes be used to get something what we call job match score. In the interview kits, you will be able to find the questionnaires that, again, you may have created in your settings before. You will also have the opportunity of creating a new one here if you feel the need to. From here, you can simply select the ones that you would like to use as part of this position by clicking Add. From there, you can also make it even easier for the recruiters to know when to use these by specifying a stage from here. The last step of creating our job ad is to add the hiring team. If you have created a team in the settings before, you will be able to find them from here and simply select one, and you can see all the members added as part of the hiring team. If you are not working with teams, you can also simply add users from the drop-down menu here by selecting individual members. You will have some final actions that you can make before fully publishing your job from the bottom action bar here. You can firstly tag your job to help manage them better. You can set publishing dates and end dates. You can pin your job to the top, meaning that it will be the first job both on your internal jobs list as well as on your career site. After saving your job as a draft, you can also go and view your job ad to see how it would look like to the candidates and if there are any changes that you would like to make. From there, you can also choose to completely unlist your job if you're not ready to publish it yet, or you can of course completely finalize your job and click publish. When you click publish, you are firstly taken onto the promote page of your job, where you can view all the different job boards that you currently have as active and where your jobs would be getting sent to. Also, if you do ever need some help regarding job boards, you can contact our promote team from here by either messaging them through the chat or booking a meeting. In the application step of your job is where you can then start seeing your candidates coming into your job, and they will then be able to be found in these different stages that you have just created. Now that you have posted your job, let's have a look how we can manage the candidates inside the job's recruitment process. Up the top here, you will always be able to see the different stage names that you have created at the time of you creating the job. As well as, of course, you can then see the candidates coming in, for example, into the inbox stage, and from there you can simply move them forward. Some other actions we can do in here can be found on the top right corner. From the pink plus button, you will be able to manually upload candidates into this specific jobs pipeline by simply dragging their resume here onto the right-hand side, and then these details here on the left-hand side will auto-populate. In your comments section, you will be able to communicate with the hiring team, and you will also, for example, have the opportunity of tagging an individual member or the whole team of notifying them of something important. You will also have the opportunity of doing actions with your candidates in bulk by simply selecting individual candidates or a whole stage. The actions that you can do from there can be found on this black action bar down the bottom. For example, you can compare your candidates and see their details opened up side by side. And again, if you are using our Copilot, you could, for example, find their resume summary easily here, as well as tags and any other comments that may have been left regarding this candidate. With bulk actions, we can also move candidates at once. We can send them a message in bulk, and whenever you're sending messages to candidates, you can always work with some pre-created message templates. You can also share candidates with external members that maybe don't have access to the TeamTailor platform. You will, for additional security, have the option of anonymizing candidate data as well as then setting up a password to restrict who actually can access that. You can also add candidates to another job if you feel that they have applied to this job, but they would maybe match another job's criteria more than they do this one. And from the three dots, you can, for example, bulk reject candidates. In your next button, behind the magic wand icon, you will be able to find all the triggers, so the automation functions that you have activated as part of your job. For example, what I have active in my inbox stage is to auto-move candidates depending on the questions that they answer to at the time of them applying. You can also add more triggers from here if, for example, you would like to automatically tag candidates or automatically send messages to candidates at different stages. In some later stages, such as hired stage, you will also have the opportunity of attaching integrations. For example, I have attached a board, which is a HR tool for me to send my candidates automatically to. Now let's have a look at what we can do to manage the candidates inside the process. When you click onto a candidate's name, it will open up their personal candidate card, where on the left-hand side, you will always be able to find their personal details that they have applied with. You can also see which jobs they have applied to and if they have applied to multiple. You can simply click here onto the Show All and see which those other jobs are. You will then be able to see their resume if they have applied with one, as well as maybe some answers to questions that you have attached to as part of the job application. As you may have noticed, these sections are completely collapsible for you so that you can always make sure that you see the most relevant information on top. You can also reorder these stages here by just simply dragging and dropping them there, so you can always make sure the one you're wanting to see is at the top. On the right hand side of the candidate's card, you can see all the actions that you can make as part of the hiring team. In the activity, you can see everything that has been done with this candidate, when it was done and who has done it. In the comments section, you can communicate with your hiring team and leave comments either on a job level or on a candidate level. And leaving a comment on a candidate level means that all these other hiring team members from the other jobs that this candidate has applied to can also access that comment. In the to-do section of a job, you can assign tasks to either yourself or to some other hiring team members. For example, if you would like someone to help you with a simple task, such as inviting this candidate for an interview. You can then from there specify whose task this is and when it should be done. In the interview section of your candidate card, you'll be able to find all the interview kits that may have been attached as part of your job. These will help you through your interviews with the candidates to know what kind of questions you should be asking them. From here, you can simply either click on the answers or write those answers, as well as assess the skills and traits that have been listed here. In addition to that, you will always also be able to find a comments field down the bottom where you can leave any additional information that you feel that is relevant for other members to know. From here, you will have two options on how to save this interview kit. If you save it as a draft, this interview kit will only be visible to you and no one else in the hiring team. However, if you click to save, this will then be visible here on the candidate's card left-hand side, and other hiring team members will also be able to access that feedback once they also have filled in their own interview kits. The last section on the right-hand side of the candidate card is the Messages tab, and this is actual email messaging to the candidate. And here you can also, for example, always work with some of your pre-created message templates. When a candidate responds to you, you can also see their response in this very same spot, so you don't need to go back and forth with your email provider. On the left-hand side of the candidate's card, you will find a black action bar down the bottom. From here, you will be able to reject a candidate by selecting the reason, if you want to send a message or not a message, as well as what kind of a message you would like to send and if this message should have a delay. You can also from here easily move the candidates to the next stage of the process, as well as book meetings with individual candidates. When you click to book a meeting button, firstly you will need to specify a message that you would like to send with your meeting invite. As always, you will be able to work with existing message templates if you have them in the platform. From there, you will need to select team members that should be a part of this meeting, as well as who the main organizer is. You will then get to specify a location, whether it be a physical one or a remote location. If you've connected your company's meeting rooms, you can also choose to add them from here. And then you have two ways of scheduling these interviews, either allowing the candidate to self-schedule or by setting a specific time. If you click to the candidate self-schedule, you can choose how many days ahead you would like to give them these times for, how long this meeting should be, and then you will be able to see the amount of times that the candidate will have to choose from. If you would like to be a little bit more in control of these times, you can also click to the calendar view button from here. You will then be able to see the different times that you are currently booked in, as well as customize which of those times you would like to send. When you click to the custom side, you will need to select again how long this meeting should be, and then simply click on the available times from your calendar that you would like to send to the candidates. Now the candidates will still have the option to self-schedule, but you will be a little bit more in control of what those times are. From there, you can also add an interview kit for you to use as part of this interview, as well as set up a reminder to the candidate and for yourself regarding the interview feedback. When you send this meeting booking to the candidate, you will firstly be able to see a quick summary of the interview, as well as then this meeting gets added here onto the left-hand side under your meetings tab. So you can always see what status it's currently in, whether the candidate has accepted the time, if it's still pending, or if they have declined it. The next few buttons here are a quick navigation for you to also get to the same sections on the right-hand side. Behind the three dots here, you will find some final actions that you can still make with the candidate, such as, for example, adding a review or editing their profile. Now let's have a look at your Candidates tab, where you will be able to find all of your candidates easily in one place. Let's see what we can do to manage them in there. Now let's click onto the Candidate tab. In your Candidates tab, you will be able to find every single one of the candidates that you currently have in your platform. From here, what you can do with those candidates is that you can, for example, filter onto them. As you can see, we have plenty of different filtering options for you. And for example, what you could do is to search for some resume text or simply filter them by departments. You will also have the opportunity of layering these filters and adding multiple different ones. For example, what I have done here is to add a department, and now I will also want to find a tag that I have included. Now that my candidates have been narrowed down to the ones that I want to see, I can also save this filter as a segment for me to use later on. For example, I can name this Customer Success and Adobe. As an admin user, you will, for example, have the opportunity of making these segments visible for every single user in the platform, but you can also make these filters only visible to yourself. When you create these segments, they get listed here onto the right-hand side behind your Segments button. When you scroll down, you will always be able to see the company segments here, as well as your own segments here. Also good to know is that these filters will always automatically update whenever you have more candidates coming in matching that filtering criteria. Now that you have narrowed down the candidates that are relevant to you, you can also make some actions with them from here. You can, for example, do that via Bulk Select. You will have the option of either selecting every single one of those users or simply some individual users. The actions that you can make will be here on your black action bar. You can, for example, move candidates to a department. You can send them messages from here. You can share these candidates with external people that may not have access to TeamTailor. You can also add them to a job if, for example, they are only in your Candidates tab but not in an active job yet. And from the three dots, you will also have some additional actions that you can take. Some other things that we can still do inside our Candidates tab is to, for example, customize the columns that you see above here. If, for example, you maybe don't want to see the latest activity, but you would rather see the department that they have applied to. From the pink plus here, you can also manually add candidates into your Team Tailor platform. You can do so by simply dragging their resume here, and the details will auto-populate. Or if you have multiple candidates that you would like to add at once, you can download their CVs here on the left-hand side, and the limit for this action is 100 candidates at once. And like we spoke earlier, if you do then later on want to add them to jobs, you can simply bulk select all those candidates and add them to the relevant one. Thank you for watching. We also have other training videos to help support your onboarding, such as setting up your basic platform settings and your career site. Remember, if you encounter any issues or you need some help throughout your onboarding or usage of the platform, you can always reach out to our support via the chat button. Happy recruiting!